Hey everyone, I promised that Michelle and I would do a Canva and it didn't happen, so I'm going to try to do a screen recording on my phone because I have started using the Canva app more than I actually use the Canva on the computer. The app is a little bit harder to manage just because you can't maneuver things quite so precisely, but it also has the added bonus that when you're adding pictures, you can add from your camera roll, which you can't do on the computer without a lot of extra steps. So first step when you sign into Canva is choose what type of design you want. Most frequently, I use the Instagram post for anything I'm going to post on Facebook. It's pretty much the same size as what you would need on Facebook, so that one works. There are others on here that you might want sometime. There's animated social media, which is kind of fun. It's actually going to save the animated social media as a video, and then you just upload it as a video. There's also a business card. So let's say if I wanted to do a business card, there are tons of templates that pop up. So if you see something you like, you can click on a template and just kind of go from there. So let's say I wanted to take this idea and then you just change things up. So like here, if I want to change the picture, well, first things first, this plus sign down at the very bottom is what you need to click on to get to all the different features. You can change the templates. This is where you will find, like, for example, your camera roll. Surprise, look, it's all Zaya. So then I could pick a picture from my camera roll to add. Oops, close out of that. This is also where you'll find elements is something I use a lot. There are all sorts of things. Shapes, frames. Frames are what you would drop a picture into if you want it certain shaped. Like some of these kind of shredded, like these are fun because if I did that and then dropped a picture, let me do a camera roll into it. I'll just go with this one. Whoops. Then it kind of changes the outline of the picture. I would double tap on it to be able to move it down where you can see what you want. If you want the face, or move it up for the leggings. You can adjust the picture however you want. All right, to delete it, because that is not something I want, you just make sure the feature is highlighted and hit the trash can. I'm going to delete the image and I'm going to delete the grid. All right, so let's say this is a basic design that I want to change the picture. Then I just click that. I'm going to, down to the bottom menu, I'm going to click replace. Let's say this is the one I want. Whoops. Like I said, there's a few things, double tap it to kind of be able to move. All right, so there we go. Now there's a different picture in place. Same, you just kind of highlight, and now I can go in and I can change the font. Or I can change the name. Now if I want to change the font, I'm going back down here to the bottom. This line right here is where you change the font. So you can just scroll through, or if you click in that little box, then all these types of fonts will pop up. So like there's handwriting, corporate, display, heading, there's all sorts. So I recently did a party that had a basketball theme. So I typed in sports, and there's sports fonts. So anyway, if you can kind of come up with an idea of something that you are looking for. Ooh, that one's not very pretty. That one's a little more fun. All right, so next, let's say I want to change the size of the font. This is the little button to font size. You just slide the bar and it makes it bigger or smaller. This is what will change the color. So let's say I wanted to do black. Apparently that font, because it's probably already bold, so I can't bold and I can't do italics. It's not an feature offered with that font, but I could underline if I wanted. This little button will change how it's aligned. That one will change it from lowercase and uppercase to all uppercase. That one adds bullets. Oops, don't want that. This one is really fun because you can play around with the spacing. So if you just slide the bar, it makes it wider or closer together, and then this line height brings it farther or closer together. I play around with those a lot, actually. And then effects, you can add all sorts of effects. I feel like I don't know how to use the effects and things quite as well on on the computer. For whatever reason, all these features are easier for me to find on the app. All right, so next, let's say that I wanted to move around. You see how the box is highlighted and all these parts are lined up a certain way? They're all grouped. So if I wanted to ungroup them to move something around, maybe I wanted to, now that it's ungrouped, each part is individual. Maybe I wanted to put this up here and then my name. Now I can move the individual parts. This is what the hardest part is, trying to get it to move. So the two arrows will make things tilt, but this little plus sign with arrows, if you touch your finger on that, sometimes that's what you have to do to make things move. Like sometimes if you can't grab the box with the text or the picture or whatever. All right, so there I rearranged it. Say I want to align that. So that's definitely an option there. Okay, so if I click on that plus sign, what are some other things? I've never added music. Copyright violations are real things, and I honestly would not take a chance unless it's preset music. Do they have any? I guess they do have any. Anything that is already included in an app is usually okay because that app is paid for the rights to be able to use that in their stuff. But if you have music that you want to upload, if that's ever an option, I would really not do it, just because artists are often pretty picky about people using their work, and it doesn't take much to get you into the courtroom if they decide to press charges, and that's a whole mess nobody wants. So I would only use the music that is already part of an app if I were you. There's a little library knowledge for you there. All right, so if I want to add a sticker, there are all sorts of fun stickers. Now to resize it, I'm going to grab the corner. I would suggest that you always resize by grabbing the corner. Otherwise, you could distort the image. Like for example, if you have an image, I don't know, the kids at school always like to grab something. This, I guess it's not going to let you. This is why it's graphic design for dummies. It keeps you from doing stupid stuff like making something really tall and skinny. All right, so that little flashy thing was an animation, so that will be awesome because Facebook will think that everybody is stopping to look at it. So yay for that. All right, let's say down here at the bottom, some of the other features. If I wanted to flip something, I have the option to flip it horizontal, flip it vertical. That can come into handy with pictures and things. Position is going to align it. This little button is really cool because, hold on, I can change the transparency. Let me do that on the picture though. It seems to make more sense with the picture. So you see I'm kind of making that more transparent. So let's say that I wanted to put writing over the top of it. Sometimes if you do the transparency, it's a lot easier to see text or something on top of a photo. But also if you do the transparency, that means in this case the red background's going to show through some more. So I'm going to move the transparency, oops, back to where it's not transparent, and I do not know how I actually just did that. Okay, that little line that just popped up there, that pink line, those are showing you where things are aligned. So that's actually a perfect spot to drop that if you want it all aligned. Font size, so that little spot you can kind of just increase or decrease font. Again, I think I already showed you that. And I think that is the basics of Canva to at least get you started. Oh, there, if you grab the right hand side, if you want to drag that out to make the spot bigger. All right, I am being called, so I'm going to end this real quick. So if you have any questions, let me know, and hopefully that's enough to get you started.